All right. Well, let's do This Week in Auto History, shall we? You have that as well. You just have a whole
Plethora.
a big stack of papers over there.
So in 1906, the Sunset Automobile Company, that was a startup company in San Francisco, was totally destroyed by fire. The production of the Sunset never resumed, and the firm was legally dissolved in 1909.
I had a patio umbrella that looked like the top on that car one time.
I think I did.
But you got to
well.
think, back in 1906, that was a pretty cool looking car. Pretty ornate.
fancy, yeah.
And
A lot of detail.
the Bay Area of California has had different automotive manufacturers through the years. None of them have been considered successful.
Well, Ford had an office there, a plant right
and
there
so
on the bay.
did GM and Toyota, the NUMMI plant that built the Chevrolet Nova, which was kind of an abomination of the name Nova, and I think Toyota Corolla. They were both a shared platform. And then Tesla come out of the Bay Area as well, so Tesla being the most successful. But I thought that was a beautiful car for 1906 when, the main competitor to that was the Model T, which was kind of a plain Jane looking car.
Yeah.
And then in 1942, Rand McNally released the first comprehensive road atlas.
I used to love the road atlases.
And Rand McNally, definitely the name to remember.
I think they still make them.
They still do. This is the cover of the 2021 road atlas.
And they're not cheap.
They're not cheap. And if you kind of look at that, that is looking from the
east to the west
tunnel of Yosemite Valley, and that's El Capitan on the left and Half Dome on the right. So it's always had those atlases always had some wonderful photography in them, and one big book takes you around the country. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Lots of trivial knowledge in there.
If you don't have a cell phone yet, this is the way to go.
Mm-hmm. And then in 1946, Arthur Chevrolet, the brother of the Chevrolet namesake Louis Chevrolet, committed suicide at age 60 in Slidell, Louisiana.
In that truck?
No. But it's a 1946 Chevy Suburban, which would be quite collectible today. And I've been to Slidell. I can understand why Arthur did what he did.
Didn't we interview someone?
Why was he there is the question.
Yeah.
Slidell, Louisiana.
Didn't we
There's
interview
some hot
someone that
chicks over
had
there.
one of these at Granbury?
Yep. Gorgeous truck. And then
Need to get your glasses checked.
58 years ago this week, in 1964, the Ford Mustang, a two-seat mid-engine sports car, was officially unveiled at the Ford in the World's Fair in New York City in Flushing Meadows.
The same month as the grand opening of the Houston Astrodome.
Oh, was it?
1965.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
And what did Randy call it? The galloping pony?
The galloping pony. The running pony.
Running something.
And actually, I was there as a child, and I remember this display.
You were never a child.
Well, I was there as a
He
youngster.
still is a child.
Oh, yeah.
I was there as a youngster at the New York City.
A youngin'?
That'd be cool.
New York World
to say
Fair.
that.
Yep.
Yeah. Did you?
And-
By the way, did you go to Woodstock?
No, Woodstock. I was
69.
I was 11 at Woodstock.
Well, there were a lot of them there.
Yeah. Well, no, I didn't go to Woodstock, but I know where Woodstock was, right off the Northway.
Okay.
Quite a famous spot.
He didn't make it past
And then in
420.
1965, the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel opened, which is really kind of weird. It's this big, long suspension bridge that comes to the middle of the bay and then dives into a tunnel.
Yep.
And then the ships will pass over the tunnel.
Is there a Kennedy driving that ship?
No, that wasn't. That was Chappaquiddick.
Oh. Close enough.
It's a sea bay.
Yeah.
But kind of an unusual build is the fact that, here you are on this 17.5-mile long bridge, and then all of a sudden in the middle, it dives into a tunnel. I guess if there's a hurricane coming and the tide rises, they're going to have to close that down because the tunnel's going to fill up.
Put a plug in it.
And then in 1995, after producing about 6,939 cars, Lotus tuned Chevrolet Corvette Z01 production ended. Great car, C4 Corvette. It had a 32-valve quad cam V8 in it that was designed by Lotus, built by Mercury Marine.
Yes, I remember
in
that.
Stillwater, Oklahoma.
Because they had the wherewithal, the way to build that complicated engine there, and nobody else did.
And to do all of the machine work on the aluminum that really wasn't industry standard at the time. So, and I went to the Stillwater plant where they built that once. It wasn't working for GM. It wasn't there on a GM capacity, but was there with a friend of mine. So pretty cool. So yeah, and the ZR1 came back in 2009, again as a supercharged car. So that was it.
Okay, cool. Thank you, sir. That's it.